I discovered that something that was unimaginable just a few years ago is happening now. Chinese and American scientists collaborating to secure nuclear materials, uranium, from the far corners of the globe. I'm Rich Stone. I'm the international news editor at Science magazine, and my story for the Pulitzer Center is about Chinese and American scientists working together to save the world. And this is really part of my beat at Science magazine. I have a rather unusual beat. It's weapons of mass destruction and particularly difficult countries to report from, such as Iran and North Korea. Even though I lived in China for 5 years, I never got permission to go to China's nuclear weapons design laboratories. It was a real object of frustration for me. And I thought, well, how can I nibble at the edges of the story? 20 years ago, there was a report in the US Congress about Chinese spying in the nuclear complex. It was allegations of spying that China vehemently denied. But because of that report, American scientists have been barred from the Chinese Academy of Engineering and Physics. There's been no collaboration, practically speaking, for the past 20 years. So the fact that they're getting together now is pretty significant. So for the story, I reported from Beijing and from Accra, Ghana. I visited a new Center for Excellence in Nuclear Security that the US and the Chinese worked together to establish. It's a pretty amazing complex. They have a bunker where nuclear materials, special nuclear materials, are stored. I got to go inside the bunker with the scientists there. And the first thing you notice going in, the razor wire, curly cues of razor wire hanging from the ceiling. And the scientist pointed to a yellow line just a few inches from my feet, and he said, if you step past that line, the razor wire falls down on you. He was joking. It wouldn't fall down on you, but what happens with the razor wire is it's lowered to the floor when staff are not there at an operating nuclear facility storing nuclear materials like this. It's one measure to slow any potential nuclear smugglers. So ever since 9/11, the US government has been very concerned about securing loose nukes, first of all, nuclear weapons, and also any nuclear materials in countries that are not one of the nuclear weapon states. And there's a lot of this nuclear material out there. So the US has worked throughout Eastern Europe to move out highly enriched uranium. There are smaller amounts that are also scattered around the globe, including at research reactors that China produced in the 1980s and 1990s and shipped to 5 countries. It's a very unusual kind of research reactor. It's called a miniature neutron source reactor. And these reactors are in Ghana, Nigeria, Iran, Pakistan, and Syria. It's not really necessary at this point to have that kind of weapons usable nuclear fuel. The reason that it's not necessary now is that Chinese and American scientists worked together for 10 years on a project to redesign the reactor core of the miniature neutron source reactor to convert it to run on low enriched uranium, which cannot be used for a nuclear weapon unless it's further enriched, and that's not easy to do. And so Ghana was the first reactor outside China to be converted. I was in Ghana when the new core was brought in and installed into the reactor. The highly enriched uranium core had already been taken out, but when I visited, it had not left the country yet. And one of the nuclear regulators from Ghana remarked when we passed by it, somewhat mysteriously, he said, "There's a little god under there." I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And he whispered to me, "That's it, that's the old core." So it was not something that they wanted to have lying around. Finally, last month in August, the plane took the uranium back to China. Now the Chinese and Americans are going to work together on the next conversion, which is going to be in Nigeria this coming spring. People hope that this will lead to more cooperation among the nuclear weapons scientists.